Hello everyone, my name is Dar Rath and I'm the pastor at Faith Lutheran Church in Port Elgin, Ontario. And each week I've been bringing stories that are short stories, messages from different authors. Just take 5 minutes. Some of the stories are meaningful, some of them are funny, but hopefully they just give you something to think about. So here's the story this week, and it's in a book called Flowers in the Wind by Reverend Robert Kuss. And this story was written by Brian Kavanaugh, and it's called Judgment in All Its Seasons. There once was a Persian king who wanted to teach his sons not to make rash judgments about people. Therefore, he commanded his eldest son to make a journey in winter to see a mango tree across the valley. When spring came, the king sent the next oldest son to visit the same tree. When summer arrived, the next youngest son went to see this mango tree. And finally, in the autumn, the youngest son visited this same tree. The king gathered all his sons after the youngest son had returned from his journey, and he asked each son to give a report on the mango tree. The first son, who had visited the tree in winter, said that the tree looked like an old stump. The second son, who had visited the springtime, said the tree was lovely to look at, large and green. The third son, who had visited in summer, reported that the tree had blossoms as beautiful as roses. The fourth son, who had just returned from his autumn journey, said that his brothers were all wrong. To him, it was a tree filled with luscious, juicy fruit like pears. The wise king smiled at his sons and he said, "Well, each one of you is correct." Seeing the puzzled look in their eyes, the king said, "You see, each of you saw the mango tree in a different season. Thus, you are all correctly described what you saw. The lesson," said the king, "is to withhold judgment until you have seen the tree in all its seasons." When I worked at the University of Toronto, I was a nurse before I became a minister. My boss was the dean at the University of Toronto, and he and I used to go up and down University Avenue to go to different hospitals, to meetings, and to visit patients sometimes. And along the way, there were street people who were asking for money. And my boss, the dean, used to have a pocket full of toonies, and he would stop at each person and give them a toonie, and he knew them by name because he would go up and down University Avenue at least 3 or 4 times a week, and he got to know these people and talk to them. And so one day when he was stopping to get one of those sausages from the vendors, he used to stop every day and get one, and I would say, your arteries are going to close up. But anyway, he would, I talked to him about that, and I said, I'm not sure you should be giving these people money. And he said something that I will never forget. He said, "Listen to me, Dar." He said, "I don't know the road that these people have traveled. I don't know where they've been and why they are having to beg on the street. I just know that I had an opportunity to have an education. I was able to become a family doctor. I was able to work. I was able to have a family and have a nice house." And he said, "I don't know what's happened with these people, and I'm not going to make a judgment call." And so I learned a big lesson from him that day. So I hope this has given you something to think about. Click on the link next week and I'll have another story written by another amazing author. It's such a privilege to be able to bring these stories to you. So thanks for taking 5 with Dar, and blessings on your day.